Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Dibling. And today's video I'm going to be talking about my birth experience. Since my last video I did end up having my baby a little bit sooner than expected, but I'm not complaining. So today I'm going to be talking about that, and I mean, now you guys know why I said, oh, like I'm coming back and everything, and then I didn't upload. So to start from the beginning, the following week after I uploaded that video, I actually met with a nurse practitioner because my doctor was too busy and they really wanted to see me again, even though this whole time my pregnancy has been relatively smooth. And I originally wasn't going to, but they were like, but you're 37 weeks, there's a lot that can go wrong later in pregnancy, so we want to see you, like we want to see you. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But they took my blood pressure and it was kind of high, and so they're like, okay, well, we'll like let you relax for a few minutes and then we'll take it again. And they took it again. It was too high, and so they actually had me go straight to the hospital, and they did what's called a stress test, where they hook you up to all these machines and they monitor like your baby's heartbeat and stuff, and they do like all these tests, they take your blood. So I had really bad swelling when I was pregnant, and I thought that was normal. I had been swollen for months and months. As you guys saw in my videos, I slowly got like my face and hands and everything slowly got more and more swollen, so I didn't think anything of it. Yeah, so they did the stress test. They said my blood pressure was going down, and so they let me go after like an hour. And I actually had work. Then I went back to work and everyone was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I moved on. Like a hair that's like, anyways, they wanted me to go into my OB office tomorrow, but it was a holiday. I just walked in and had my blood pressure taken. She said my blood pressure was a little high and that they had found a little bit of protein. And so I was like, okay, well, you know, they were like, we think it might be leaning towards preeclampsia, but like it's not for certain. So Friday I go into work. So I got there at like 6 a.m. and it was only like 8 a.m. and I started to like, and I have a desk job, y'all, so I literally just sit there all day. So I wasn't doing anything crazy, anything stressful, because I work at a doctor's office. So, you know, I'm surrounded by like medical people. So I just asked one of the nurses, like, hey, can you take my blood pressure really quick? Like, I feel kind of dizzy. And I was like, but I shouldn't, like, my blood pressure should not be high for any reason, because I literally just been sitting there for like 2.5 hours doing nothing. I sat down and she took my blood pressure, and to give you context, a normal blood pressure is 120 over 80, and mine was, I think it was like 148 over like 111. It was insanely high. The nurse saw it and she was like, oh my gosh, that's really high. And so she took up my other arm and it just went up further. It went up to like 112. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go call my OB, but my OB wasn't open. So I just called the hospital and I was like, do I need to come in? And so they were like, holy crap, you need to come in like right now. After I got off that phone, I was so dizzy and everything, and I had to like sit down. And so they like got me into a bed. So my heart was under so much pressure, and so like my whole body was just like malfunctioning. So they actually had to like take me out of my work in like a wheelchair. Like I couldn't even stand up at that point. So my husband is driving me to the hospital, and thankfully I was only like 5 minutes from the hospital. So they like rushed me in, got me hooked up right away, and I was just resting in bed, you know, same as it had been on Tuesday, exact same thing. But this time my blood pressure was going up, 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 up. And they found more stuff in my blood. They found more protein. And they were like, okay, since Tuesday, like Monday, my whole pregnancy was totally normal. And then by Friday that same week, it was like everything was just a disaster. They checked to see how dilated I was. And then they left the room. The doctor walks in. I was like, oh no. And she was like, okay, we're going to induce you like tomorrow. Well, they were going to induce me tomorrow, but my blood pressure kept going up. And they're like, okay, we need to induce you today. Like, I was in such bad condition. My heart was doing so bad. Like, I was not doing well, that they were like, we need to induce you like right now. And I was like, what? Like, she was like, yeah, you're going to have your baby tomorrow. And I was like, called my mom, called my dad. I told them I got moved to a labor room. Then my mom was let in because the labor rooms are much bigger. And they gave me like this pill thing that took like 4 hours to kind of get my body to go into labor. It didn't really work, so they gave me another one. We did another 4 hours, so by this time it was 8 hours. And then they had to give me Pitocin to start my contractions. They gave me very, very little bit. My contractions were actually too strong, and I was having too many because my body was reacting so well to the Pitocin that they actually had to turn it off completely. So then I was kind of doing it natural, and I think I went about 3 hours without the epidural. I got the epidural, and then things started to move really quickly from there because I was totally relaxed. I've never had anesthesia before in my life, so it was my first time getting anesthesia. I had no idea what time it was at this point, but like my baby's heart rate started to like drop. They were rolling me back and forth, rolling me, trying to get like a good position so that way he could, like, the baby was safe, and it just like wasn't working. My mom was worried that I was gonna have to get an emergency C-section, but my blood pressure was too high, so they couldn't operate on me. So my heart was having problems. His heart was having issues because his heart rate was dropping. And so they finally got me into a position where his heart would beat okay. So they did that for a while, and then they checked me again. They're like, oh girl, like you're fully dilated. And so immediately they were like, okay, we need you to start pushing. The way they have you push, at least the way they had me do it, is you hold your breath and you push with all your strength for 10 seconds, and they count out loud, and then you take a breath in and hold it and push for another 10 seconds, and then take a breath in, hold it, and push for another 10 seconds, and then you rest for a couple minutes, and then you do it again. And I asked her, I was like, well, when we get an epidural, what's the average time for pushing? And she said 3
hours.
I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this for 3 hours. Like, they had me do that twice, and then his heart rate started to drop again. They took me out of the position, they started rolling me over again, and then the doctor came in, and then like a whole team of people came in, and everything started happening so fast. Like, we're gonna have you push again. And the doctor actually thought that the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, and that's why his heart rate was having issues. I ended up pushing him out in 15 minutes, and they were like shocked. It was because I worked out for the majority of my pregnancy. Not during my 3rd trimester. All I did was sleep and eat junk food my 3rd trimester. So don't get me wrong there. My swelling almost immediately went away. My stomach was almost flat instantly again. It feels so, like, guys, it feels so good to be skinny again. So I think in total I was in labor from the first time they gave me the tablet to start labor, basically, I think I was in labor for like 18 hours, but it did not feel like that. That's my story. I'm gonna do another Sanrio character design for my next video. If you made it to the end of the video, comment a blue heart emoji, if you can. I know some of you watch on your computer and you probably can't, but if you can, comment a blue heart emoji. I love you guys so much. I probably won't be posting on my weekly schedule right now, just until I kind of get my life refigured out. Don't forget to boop that subscribe button on the nose, leave a like, and share the video. Love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!